Good morning, everybody. It is May 17th. This is Prime Nation Live. I'm Sydney Roberts.
I'm Tyler Wood.
I'm Cameron Smith.
I'm Tyler Dees.
I'm Tanner Methvin.
Yeah, we got Tyler Dees joining us today. Since Charlie Dawson was too good for us and left for New York, I think Tyler might be taking over on Wednesday if you do good enough.
Yeah,
That
I've
is.
never been too good for anybody. So.
You can manipulate this so you don't have to.
You want to speak into the front part?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to speak
Yeah, into the
like
side.
Yes,
this.
right there.
Right there.
Like this right here.
Boom, boom.
But
Okay.
yeah, make yourself comfortable, man. This arm can manipulate all kinds of ways. So let's talk about on this day. Tanner, you want to lead us off?
Sure. Basically, on this day in 1875, the first Kentucky Derby was
Kentucky.
held. Kentucky, yes, sir.
Ducky Turby.
Do they do? I wonder if they do a Kentucky Derby where it's just like rubber ducks racing around.
I
you
would
know?
rather see real ducks run around, and that
I
would be
would as
way
well.
more interesting than the Kentucky Derby.
Manor Tethton.
I'd be more apt to bet on ducks, I feel like. I'm not into, like, horse betting.
I had a
but-
bird on the way here.
Yeah?
You
Yeah.
hit one?
Yeah.
Was it,
These two birds were either trying to fight or make love.
Mhm.
And
Another F
you
word.
got in the middle of it. And
No,
took
I was
care of it.
driving. And I was like, well, obviously birds will move. And as I got closer, I was like, and I kind of like shifted over so that I wouldn't run over them. It would just like my car would go over top of them.
Of course.
I saw them like crash to the ground, and I was like, oh, come on, guys. Come on, guys.
I had-
Come on.
He was saying, "Come on, don't get up."
And the one that was like the aggressor, I don't know if that was the one that was coming onto the other one or the one that was, about to kill the other one. It takes off, and then the other one, it was still. I went over top of it, and it was still on the road. It wasn't dead.
So like the
But it was
chassis
bad.
of the car drove over, not the tires.
Correct.
Okay.
Bad things happen to good people, is the moral of the
That
story.
bird could have been,
That's-
breaking and entering. You don't know.
And of course, there is already a Kentucky Derby with rubber ducks. Looks like they've got like a couple hundred in here, though.
I could probably run those over.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, they'd be much easier to run over than real birds.
I think
Yeah.
it'd be more fun than just, again, real ducks. I'd be, like Dee said, I'd
Yeah.
bet on real ducks rather than horses.
That would
And-
be much cuter too.
And not in a pond. Like, I want them on a horse track.
No, yeah, I want them
Play
running.
flying up
I
behind
want you to
their
clip
little-
their wings and have them run the track.
Have you guys been seeing all the ducklings around here lately?
Yes.
No. Oh, man,
Every
they're-
freaking morning I
They're
have to
adorable.
stop.
I saw a
Let-
gooseling.
Yeah, actually it's gooselings. I haven't seen any
I
ducklings.
curb
Are they
stomped
called
a few this
gooselings?
morning.
They are now.
Okay.
Or as my brother used to call them, a gaggle of gay geeses.
Why is your
No,
brother
they are happy.
homophobic?
I don't know. You know what, Tyler? Why are you not my brother? Huh?
Probably because he doesn't share the same
Not
parents.
black.
Whoa.
Whoa,
Well,
sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know this was that kind of show, guys.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Sorry,
Oh.
Tyler. We should have
Ooh.
let you in on that.
His
beforehand.
name is Dees.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
we got two Tylers.
We got
so-
two Drews.
I got
It would-
two Tylers.
it would not surprise me at all if the Kentucky Derby was invented solely just for an occasion to drink the mint julep. Which
Oh,
has
yeah.
anyone ever had one of those?
I have not.
It's gross.
Such a subtle transition to something Tanner had to save on the computer and then put up.
Well, you don't just save an image for nothing. So yeah,
I'll get
ma-
that grimace porn back.
Let,
if
let
we
me
really
see.
want.
I'm sorry.
No one would mind. Let me look up. Let me look up what all is in a mint julep, because
It's-
obviously that is like the stereotypical douchebag frat boy Kentucky Derby
It's
drink.
sugar water,
Have
basically.
you had a mint julep recently, my friend?
That started off kind of Cosby-like, and then went into that down home Southern accent.
No, I haven't had what
Oh, you're not going to
asking.
play along? All right, Cameron. All right. Just go with it, please.
So, oh god, I looked up mint julep, and the first thing that popped up was some boutique.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, I'm looking at it right now. It's
I'm all about
just
the
sugar water.
boutiques.
It's just sugar water with a mint garnish.
Oh
Sugar
wow, yeah,
water.
you're right. You literally just put sugar into seltzer water and add mint and bourbon.
And, yeah.
That's
See,
a mint julep.
I think it's gross. I drink my whiskey straight, sir.
Ooh.
That's the only thing you do straight. Am I right?
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
I'm not all up in his business.
Kill yourself.
You're not? Oh, see, I invest heavily into what Tanner does with his free time. But, yeah, so the Kentucky Derby in 1875, the first time it was run, you got to think it surely wasn't created just for this purpose, but probably from
Surely.
that very first day, it was celebrated as a way for rich people to go out and just talk about how rich they are. Or not talk about, but show, rather,
Oh, absolutely.
with their extravagant floral design clothing and whatnot.
You see that fat horse over there that definitely ain't going to win? I'm going to put $1 million on it.
He loses every year.
And so before we get on to our next
Uh-oh,
on this day,
Bojangles.
this is a natural segue for us to talk about the romp hymn. It made headlines
yeah.
yesterday. Who all here is familiar with the Rompim by now?
I saw
Right.
the pictures.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
So
don't know
it's-
what
I'm
you're
curious
talking
how
about
that's a
at this
natural
point.
segue.
I've already had about 3 people offer to buy me one as long as I wear it.
Well, it's a segue because the Rompim is being celebrated as a new form of pastel-laden fraternity clothing. So I'm sure at this next Kentucky Derby, you'll be seeing lots of Rompims around because it's going to be stylish. Like, you guys remember those? What were they called? Those shorts that are
Overalls?
ridiculously short.
Short shorts.
They call them
Khakis.
Dickies or something like that.
Oh, Chubbies.
Chubbies, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, those were
I have
a
a
trend
pair.
for a long time, and they were, celebrated at things like the Kentucky Derby and tailgates and stuff like that. The Rompim, I'm sure, is going to be the next big
There's nothing funnier to me.
fraternity trend.
There's nothing funnier to me than a very, very fat frat boy.
Oh yeah, well that's most of them. Yeah.
Not
There's some that
really.
are stocky, but like
Oh,
ridiculous.
as someone who was in a fraternity, I can tell you, most fraternity members are obese and don't care about it.
What flavor of fraternity were you in? Were you in an
Chocolate.
honors fraternity?
No.
Or?
No,
Oh.
I-
You were in a real one?
Yeah, legitimate fraternity. Yeah,
Were
probably the only one that I would be proud to be in. Teak at NC State, because it was. I mean, the only
TKE?
Tau Kappa Epsilon. The only reason I joined was because the guys in there were the type of guys I would have hung out with anyway.
Mm.
They weren't your typical fraternity guys. But that's not to say that most of them weren't overweight anyway.
Mm.
But they
Is
were
that
just,
why you hung out with
genuinely like, a lot of them were friends of mine in high school anyway, but just friends I would have been friends with in high school and stuff like that. Cool guys, not your typical frat douchebags. They were actually fraternity men, I like to
I'm pretty
say.
sure it's TKE at Wilmington that snuck a stripper and a keg into a dorm.
I don't know if there is a teak at Wilmington. I know there's one at App, and I think there's also one at ECU, but I don't know about
PKE,
UNCW.
There's a K in it.
I
There's
don't.
a lot of those.
I don't want to bring down the room, but I'm curious. How did they haze you? Because there's been that story going around about the frat boy that died.
Yeah, nothing that bad. It was a pretty intense pledge process with, not lying at all.
Nothing
Just-
as bad as dying.
No, yeah.
Blindfolded and some limp stuff in my mouth. That's
No, not anything to do with the mouth. There were blindfolds involved. There were,
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
It
the
was,
other hole.
it was your typical pledge process. No, nothing sexual. Nothing, and that stuff does go on without a doubt. But that was another big part of the reason I joined Teak is I was confident that
was in
nothing
the
like
screening
that.
process. You're like, hey guys, no pee-pees in my mouth.
Well,
right?
like I said, I knew a bunch of the members before I joined, so
Mm.
they couldn't let me in on exactly what goes on in the pledging process. And I mean, genuinely, it is a really intense process, but it does build you up a lot. It builds character and it builds a bond with the people you're going through it with. But yeah, there's nothing, anything like homosexual, sexually at least.
I want to join a sorority.
Well, why don't you try? You could do a sequel to Juana Man, except instead of playing basketball, you're joining a sorority.
I asked a sorority leader if I could join, and she said no.
Well,
So why don't we get her on the phone?
did you sweet talk her at all, or did you just ask her?
I don't know if I'm capable of sweet talk. I don't know if.
Did you drop the old
Tell the girl
TKE
to
connection
look at
with
the
Sydney? Did you?
I tried, yeah.
That you just found out about today? Are you clairvoyant?
Sydney, we're having fun here.
Are we? Is that what we're doing?
No, I feel like I'm actually being put on blast right now. So can we change the subject?
Yeah, so let's talk about in 1884. What happened then, Tanner?
Dude. So there's this little state. All right, there's this little state called. Actually, I don't know why I
Actually,
said little state.
pretty
It's like the
big
biggest
state,
state.
yeah.
All right, I've already screwed it up, but I'm gonna keep going. Alaska became a U.S. territory in
84.
84. Although we did look it up, it didn't become a state until 1959.
Yeah, so that is, 75 years later?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm pretty
Just put up
confident it was
Sarah
75, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, God, Sarah Palin.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Alaska's pride and joy? What else
She's
has come
Alaska's
out of
pride and
Alaska?
joy. The movie Snow Dogs, I think, was set there, I believe.
I'm a huge fan of Lisa Ann.
Is she from? Oh, she just played
Yeah,
Sarah
there you
Palin.
go.
Okay,
There
yeah.
you go. Wheels are turning.
Mm.
Gears are grinding.
I think we could have done without Alaska overall.
You sure? Really?
Yeah.
They actually they went through a phase, I don't know if they still do it, where they gave a minimum income to all of their residents.
Hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like what we were talking
Oh, yeah,
about, they're
w-
doing.
Yeah,
in,
Canada's
Mhm.
doing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean like for moving there, like incentive to move there?
No, I
sort
think
of
like
thing?
yearly. Like I think it was an experimental process, but like every resident got a minimum income.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's because they did that with like the Midwest as well, and then the Dust Bowl happened. So I don't know if that's like
Wow,
the
really?
best.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's like
Like you can't blame minimum income on the Dust Bowl.
That's
You blame poor farming practices on the Dust Bowl.
I think it was just like people being shipped to the Midwest to sell land that people had bought up that like started the Dust Bowl thing.
No, what started the Dust Bowl is poor farming practices.
Yeah, but it was because a bunch of people were just like, "Hey, you
Because
should
a
go."
bunch of stupid people.
But that's just people. Like,
Tonight on
back
CNN,
um,
the heated debate
The
over the
Dust
cost
Bowl.
of
I am not going to stand by while the one thing I learned in 6th grade social studies is brought up.
I gotta say, even more so than Sarah Palin, do you guys know who Sue Akins is?
Nope.
From Life Below Zero? I'd say she's Alaska's pride and joy. Her she stays in Alaska like pretty much year round in just this tent pretty much, and she like hosts this campsite where people can come and stay in tents. But a bear broke into her tent, mauled her. She crawled like something like 3 miles or something to get help, and then went back and killed the bear later on and ate it. Pretty badass.
Hell yeah.
What's her name?
Sue Akins?
Is she Asian?
Seconds.
Oh.
No. What makes you think that?
Sue.
Akins?
Sue. S-U. I read it as S-U.
No, there's it either. And so, yeah, it finally became a state in 1959 along with Hawaii. Quick trivia round. Tanner and I are not eligible. Which became a state first, Hawaii or Alaska?
Alaska. Hawaii was the last
Alaska.
state.
Oh, you said Alaska through your okay. Well, you
Sorry.
guys are correct. Indeed, yeah. Hawaii became a state in August 1959. Alaska became a state in January.
That was 7th grade social studies.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Those are the years that stuck with you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I remember 7th grade social studies learning that because that was when Obama first started like running, and he was from Hawaii, and they're like, was he born late enough?
Don't you mean Kenya?
7th grade was the last year for Tyler in school before he started smoking that hashish. Started forgetting everything that went in that year.
Talking to me or him?
Just the one ear.
You'll find
we
out.
decided I was D's. remember?
Yeah,
I'm
we
not-
got.
I'm not sure. You
You
know,
gotta
some
all
people
remember
slip
that.
up.
You wanted the name.
By the way,
So-
I'm
You
looking
said,
up.
I'm Tyler.
I'm on a
Tyler.
Wikipedia
My
page
name's gonna
of
be Tyler. Yours is gonna be D's.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear this impression.
It's what you sound like. I didn't make your voice.
Can you
up.
say I am not guilty?
I am not guilty.
I couldn't tell which Tyler was saying that.
Say Tanner, you have baloney in your cargo shorts.
Tanner, you have baloney in your cargo shorts. My name's Tyler, and the new Tyler, he's got to be D's because I'm better.
Flawless.
This is a great replacement for Charlie.
I
He
agree.
already,
Yeah.
he already hates me.
Wow. Okay. So here's a quote, real quick, from Sue Akins after her bear
The Asian
attack.
lady?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Sydney hates me
Asian
too.
bear lady.
I just can't understand Akins,
half
how that
Asian,
translated.
half bear.
Sue Asian?
She's aching for some
Bear meat.
For some what, pho?
for some wood.
Some pho.
So here's her quote. I had to sew my own head together, my arm, and before my hips popped out, I went across the river, found the bear, shot him, called the trooper, and there I lay for 10 days. So she didn't even go to get help before she killed the bear. She sewed her own head back together, popped her hips back into place, and held her arm like pretty much on while she went and killed the bear, and then waited for 10 days to get help because she lives 80 miles from the closest road.
How'd she not bleed out?
Because she is a badass.
If
That's the
she-
only explanation.
If this woman wasn't busted from being mauled by a bear, I'd probably try to date her.
Dude, you know what? I found someone who is Alaska's pride and joy. Bob Ross.
What?
Bob Ross was born in Alaska.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
How do you get so good at painting trees when you're from a state with no trees?
Wait, hold
That's
on.
why
Something's
he's so
wrong
good
here.
at the
Something's-
sprawling landscapes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm wrong. He was not born in Alaska. He started painting in Alaska.
Wait, so did
He
you
was
just say Alaska
genetically
had no
engineered
trees?
in Alaska.
I said Alaska. Oh, yeah, I did say it has no trees, but that was
fact,
obviously
he was-
exaggeration.
He was
Oh,
born
okay.
in Florida, Daytona Beach. That's a
Can-
hell of a move. That's the plot of Snow Dogs.
Oh, yeah, you're
And
right.
it's
Cuba, successful dentist.
Bob Ross is based on Snow Dogs.
no, the other way around. That's the story of Bob Ross.
That's what I just said. Bob Ross is based on Snow Dogs.
No, that's
No, you're.
you're wording it.
You're saying a person's life would be
Yes.
built based around a movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So God watched the movie Snow Dogs in the future.
So just to be clear, Bob Ross, who died in 1995,
Mhm.
several years before Snow Dogs came out,
Yeah.
his life was inspired by the Cuba Gooding Jr. movie Snow
didn't-
Dogs.
I didn't
God works in mysterious ways.
Are you saying Robert Frost The poet is based on Snow Dogs as well.
No, Robert Frost, the poet, wrote Snow Dogs.
Oh, two dogs diverge in a wood.
In a yellow snow because the dogs peed on it.
One of their fathers is white. That's
So-
the crux of the movie.
I didn't even know that Bob Ross. I hadn't thought about it. I didn't know he died. I especially didn't know that he died
Oh,
in
I had him killed.
1995.
It's not something we like to talk.
I was a
you're
year
right.
old, and I was like, "Get him out of here! His hair scares me."
Actually,
we're just
I'm the
gonna-
reincarnation of Bob Ross because that's when I was born.
and we're just going to put my headstone right here.
Mm.
It's gonna be all cute.
Well, he didn't die. It was just a happy little accident.
Oh my God.
Bob Ross is an American hero, first of all. I do want to clarify.
Well,
but
he really was. He spent 20 years in the U.S. Air Force, and
Yeah.
that's when he took up painting because he was stationed in Alaska.
I've killed so many people.
That was his way of living with himself.
and I'm just going to put the dead Viet Cong babies right here.
And
We're
that
just gonna
tree's
keep-
bleeding.
gonna-
Don't worry about why. That tree's bleeding.
I'm just gonna paint this tiny street.
And I'm just
with
going
the
to put a
blood
little
of
Agent Orange
civilians.
right here. Little Agent Orange paint.
Well, melt your skin.
I don't
off.
think any of us can top the happy accident.
We're still having fun though.
Yeah.
Are we? No.
Not anymore. Listen about these rompers. I think
No, let's get on to pop culture, though.
Uh,
we've bled out
I-
on this day for as much as we can.
True, although I do want to ask, do we want to do Cam's review?
Oh yeah, Cameron, you ate food.
I ate a Cajun filet
Indeed.
biscuit this
Yep.
morning. That
What'd
is
you think?
correct.
Did you have the egg and cheese on there?
I did. Cajun filet, egg and cheese biscuit. Now, today, I'd say was actually a pretty on day. First, I take a look at this. This is not the
This is not the
actual-
one he ate, but this is
this-
the only Cajun filet biscuit with bacon and cheese I could
Yeah.
find.
It's
Or
egg and
cheese and
cheese.
egg.
Egg and
yeah,
cheese,
egg and
yeah.
cheese I could find.
So I took a look at it and I was like, okay, this looks like a pretty good one. It looks solid, like a thick piece of chicken in there, good organized egg on top
him hanging.
with
Thick piece.
the.
Come on, man. There we go.
I thought I was gonna high five after the review was over, but
I'll keep
anyway.
it up there. We can,
Okay,
we can
yeah,
finish
keep,
on one.
keep it up there, and I'll high five when I'm done. Anyway, took a bite into it, and at first I was disappointed. I was like, this chicken doesn't seem like it's got any Cajun seasoning on it.
Oh,
But then as I kept going, I realized I was like, oh, I'm starting to feel that Cajun seasoning. It was like kind of a delayed reaction, and as I was going, it got spicier and spoocier, and
spicy
and
meatball.
by the time I was done, I was like, man, that was a fulfilling meal. I'd honestly say 9 to 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Wow.
I got to give a 10 out of 10 rating to my Bojangles this morning because they gave me a free egg and cheese on my sausage biscuit. I didn't even ask for it.
What?
They didn't charge me for it.
you
What?
stole fizzy lifting drink.
And oh, actually, I got to go back.
It took me a second.
I got to go back on my 10 out of 10. I got to give them like an 8 out of 10 because my Mountain Dew was flat.
Oh.
It was not fizzy.
Whoa.
Mhm. But the bow rounds were on point. They were yesterday. They were like stale crunchy,
They're bow squares.
not satisfying crunchy. Bow squares would be a good idea. I wonder if maybe they're round because it helps the cooking or something like that.
Just because they're lazy and they're actually screwing you out of what they could give
A
you.
full
with
square,
the
yeah.
square that would be fill in more.
That's
But
true.
someone did those calculations of how much money and supplies they could save
For
if
sure.
they just made them cook circles instead of squares.
And I wonder if maybe they started off a little bit bigger and they're
Mhm.
slowly downsizing the bow rounds over time.
Tanner, you're right. When I think of Bojangles, I think someone doing intense math to shove the maximum amount of potato into a bow round per cost.
Yes, this is just truth.
So Tyler is a chef. What's the deal? Sorry, Deez is a chef.
You
So
say this one.
This one right
no, you
here.
can't.
Oh, okay.
So would you say that Wendy's has the right idea with the square patties? Does that help the cooking? What do you think they do that?
I think that they most likely do it because if you shape your patty square, then it's not round like all the other patties.
I have a follow-up
an
question.
astute observation.
I have a follow-up question about food preparation. How much of your food do you pee in?
I feel like if you're gonna send out food and be happy with it, you have to pee in it.
Okay.
So if you want to please the guest, then you have to add just a touch of yourself.
Just a little bit of love.
So,
All right.
That PP.
boo, boo.
You can definitely tell whenever the chef hasn't taken the proper time to pee in your food.
Mm-hmm. You
It's
can.
You've been
can.
to
It's in this
Platypus
package.
and
There's no
Gnome?
pee in there.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I
you don't
disagree
like it?
as well.
Oh,
What you got?
Tonight
I
on
just
CNN.
thought that it was mediocre.
I
It's
did
just
as well.
for the price.
What'd you get?
Oh,
Overpriced.
you got something
I-
too expensive.
No, I did. I tried their like boar plate that they have.
Ah.
So and I thought that their sides weren't that impressive.
So let me talk a little bit about Platypus and Gnome. I didn't tell you I did get the Cubano, and I was happy with the Cubano. It wasn't as big as I expected it to be for $12,
Yeah.
but it was still good.
But the fries were meh.
The fries are way too greasy there, and most fries, they come out greasy, and the grease kind of soaks in, and they dry up. They stayed consistently greasy. The worst part about it, though, was I ordered a Moscow Mule there. I didn't watch him make it. I should have.
What the hell is that?
It's ginger beer, lime, and vodka.
Sounds like
pretty
my ex-girlfriend.
one of the simplest drinks to make. It
In a
tasted like a
copper
margarita. So he brought it to me. It tasted like a margarita. I was like, okay, simple mistake. Maybe he just thought I heard margarita. But no, I got charged for a $9 Moscow Mule that tasted like goddamn margarita. And then I ordered a beer next because it was safer. But both times I've been to Platypus and Gnome, I think it's overpriced and not very tasty. I mean, the Cubano, honestly, I think the pickle was the most flavorful thing in the sandwich.
I was happy with what I got for $12.
And what did you say you had?
The Cubano with fries.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
tell you.
I might give it a second go, but I was very displeased.
I had the Moroccan lamb, and I was a little disappointed because I paid $20 and it wasn't that great. Honestly, my leftovers I think were better. Like it was better reheated.
Yeah,
it
later
looked
on.
like you had eaten already like a full rack of lamb, and then the whatever Moroccan thing in
Right,
it, and then thrown it back up.
When
Yeah,
did this place open?
But first
don't
time
know.
I went, I had the perfect meal, which I highly suggest. They've changed the poutine. They used to have like a Swedish meatball poutine.
I was looking
Oh,
forward
and
to
it was-
trying that.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I had that, and then also I got the elk burger, and the elk burger is also phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
This is hilarious that we're going into such detail. Like, I was not impressed with this, but my Bojangles biscuit was great.
9.5 out of 10.
That is a great segue into a Bojangles review. To talk about like a high-class restaurant and all the problems we have.
yeah. Bojangles nice and consistent for the most part, at least, except for my Mountain Dew. But it's time for our first break already, so we'll be back here in about 10 minutes, guys. Stick around. Back from our first break. It's May 17th. This is Prime Nation Live. So moving into pop culture, we're going to talk about this pet rat that overdosed on heroin.
Snuggles.
Snuggles the rat. So in Vancouver, fortunately, they have those overdose prevention sites in Vancouver. Apparently, a woman brought in her pet rat who had eaten some heroin off of her table, as rats are wont to do. So the veterinarian put some Narcan on the mouse's nose and revived it. And wouldn't you know it, the current owner of the mouse said that she felt like she was unfit to raise the rat, and then handed it over to let me see, what was her name? Blythe something. Sarah Blythe. She was the one who saved the rat's life, and now she's the new owner of Snuggles the rat.
It looks like the woman who saved Snuggles' life was Melissa Patton, and I think she's the one taking care of Snuggles now.
Huh. Okay, well, Sarah Blythe co-founded the organization. Let's see. Where are you seeing that name? Melissa Patton. Okay, yeah. Very nice.
But point is, they found a rat OD'd on heroin and saved it, and that's really cute.
Well, and it goes to speak to the efficacy of these overdose prevention sites. They're not only helping out ODing humans, but also animals.
Yeah, we're going
They-
to check on this lady that's
This
doing
is-
heroin.
It's definitely moments
Well-
like these that those places were built for.
Yeah.
Moments like these.
They say that
That's his new segment.
That's the
Moments
new
like
segment.
these. Chris talks about a new moment from the week.
they say that they've treated dogs and cats as well in the U.S. even.
You know what? If a dog gets addicted to heroin, we'll let him go.
Yeah, there's
What-
not much you can do for a dog once they get hooked on it. Like,
Old dogs don't
that's-
learn new tricks.
That's right.
They do learn new addictions, though.
Oh, yeah.
God, I wonder if an animal could actually develop a habit for a drug like that. I'm pretty sure they'd probably just die.
I mean, my-
dogs
Yeah.
can't even have chocolate.
I
I
mean,
mean, they can do
Well,
heroin and live.
There are like moose who eat fermented apples on
Mhm.
a yearly basis and get drunk. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
animals, if you have the chemical pathways, you're going to be addicted to
Yeah.
whatever it is.
But
True.
there's not much.
Have you ever seen that picture of the moose stuck in the tree? That's
Mm-mm.
one of my most favorite.
I don't
things.
think
It's
I
a
have
drunk
either.
moose wedged up in a tree, and people are around having to cut the tree down to free the drunken moose.
If a dog does get addicted to heroin, though, there's not much he can do in the way of like stealing a VCR to pawn it to get heroin money. He's just gonna have to like detox,
Pawn.
I guess.
Hey.
It wasn't. No.
Did you say paw?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's things like these that's why I don't like you. Okay.
Things like these. That's my new segment.
Puns like
Oh, you got that
There's
new.
There's that
That
new.
That new segment.
But yeah, I gotta think that a dog, instead of developing a habit for heroin, would probably just overdose pretty
You'd
immediately.
hope so, but
Oh God.
we've got a
yeah.
bad
But
problem.
would you
in
eat
this
it
country.
after it overdosed?
Probably. It's good marinade. It's better than orange.
I'll eat an overdosed human before an overdosed dog.
All right, Tanner. That's if you have an overdosed human in your cargo shorts pocket.
Well, I don't
Okay.
yet.
Yet. That's the key word
Mhm.
there. So this brings us on to a similar story that happened, let me see, in Ohio. Apparently, people might have already heard about this, but apparently a cop who busted these two people for fentanyl trafficking. Fentanyl is 5 times stronger than heroin. It's like a synthetic opioid,
Don't tempt me.
but it's way more dangerous. Apparently, even just touching your skin could lead to an overdose, because that's what happened with this police officer in Ohio. He had busted these two people for trafficking in and fentanyl, and apparently their way to get out of the situation was they tried to grind the powder into their floorboards they were just stomping it and trying to disguise it, when, I mean, it's a white powder and black floorboards. The picture's right here, Tanner, if you want to pull up my screen. It just looks like the Chappelle sketch with Tyrone Biggums. There's just white powder everywhere.
can
Looks
also-
like the guy in the middle was eating powdered donuts.
Yeah,
which You're not
exactly.
allowed to do in the car.
At least not in Ohio.
I like how that's a worldwide car rule.
It is. It's my mother told me so.
I
There's
like
some
that
kind
you can
of
save 45% with Allstate right now.
there's some kind of candy box in the middle too. Is that Butterfinger Bites or something?
Let me
Right.
enhance.
Looks like milk
It looks
duds.
like Whoppers or Milk Duds. I'm going.
I
with
think
the
it's Butterfingers.
I'm pretty sure it's Butterfingers.
It-
Yeah, I don't. Milk Duds are like
It
way more
is.
yellow than orange, box wise.
How far away is the moon?
238,900 miles, and there's only been one person who ever walked on it.
That's a lie, Sydney. It's only 900 miles away. Look at the screen.
Look at the screen.
Oh no, there was more.
Mhm.
Damn museum.
So yeah, these Ohio police. So what happened? Apparently, he got some of the powder on his shirt, and we were talking about this yesterday before the show. And Drew Harrison was skeptical. He felt like the police station here was trying to cover something up. But so apparently, the cop walked into the police station, and someone told him, "Hey, you got some white powder on your shirt." No, none of these cops thought, "Yeah, that might be drugs," considering you just stopped these drug dealers who were selling white powder. So the cop goes to just brush it off with his hand. Apparently, even just touching it with your bare hand can lead to an overdose.
So
Hey man, your nose is bleeding. Are you your nose is bleeding, your mouth is foaming.
I mean, we were just talking about powdered donuts. Has that ever happened before, where like a donut shop was actually a drug smuggling ring, using the powdered donuts to smuggle cocaine and every other drug out of there?
Well, nothing would surprise me.
First time I ever met a good friend of mine, Matt White, he was coming over for a barbecue for like 4th of July or something, and he brought powdered donuts, and he's a really animated guy. He's really high energy, and he just like got some of the powder, put it under his nose, and he came in and was like, "What's going on, everybody?"
So apparently he brushed it off,
Obnoxious.
and then
Get back on your phone.
about an hour later, he had a massive headache and eventually passed out. He had to go to the hospital, and it took 3 doses of Narcan just to revive him, just from brushing the little bit of powder off of his shirt.
So if it like reverses the effects of narcotics, isn't it Narcant?
Sure.
Can you play a sound for that,
Why
please?
does everyone hate me? Why is this?
That's what you get.
For what? For trying to bring
For-
joy to children's lives over the internet?
Well, maybe just pick and choose. Narcant, really? But it's the actual name is naloxone. So what it does apparently is immediately stops the high and then dilates your respiratory system, because that's what an OD
Buzzkill.
on opioids is like, it constricts your respiratory system.
Mm,
So that's what the actual overdose causes.
that one's not as fun.
No.
So wait, he didn't die from this, did he?
No, he's revived now,
Yeah.
and apparently he's back on the job as of today. But he was in the
A
hospital.
lot of energy.
I think it was over the weekend.
I saw Prince died from this. This was the
Yeah.
drug Prince OD'd on.
Pretty
Prince
sure.
is dead?
Yes, Prince William III.
I'm pretty sure it's what Michael Jackson died on as
Wait.
well.
Michael Jackson.
The third.
I hate
Yeah,
to break
they're
it
all
to you,
dead now.
yeah. Yep. Michael Jackson was also fentanyl. But with Prince, he was administering it to himself. The Michael Jackson thing was like he was actually having it administered by a doctor. That's why the doctor, I think, is in jail now for malpractice. But yeah, fentanyl is nothing to mess with. Like I said, it's 5 times stronger than heroin, which is already, like, by and far the most addictive substance in the universe, I think they've proved. So it's, like I said, it's entirely synthetic. It's just like a pharmaceutical-produced drug, which, I mean, that's how it usually happens with heroin addictions. People get something like fentanyl prescribed to them, and then they get hooked on it, and then heroin's just cheaper than the prescription, so then they move on to that. But like I said, Drew was thinking that this was some sort of cover-up, like this cop had like a fentanyl problem or something like that. But I don't know. I mean,
Do you think this cop will adopt Snuggles the rat?
I just think
that
he's
would be
trying to
nice.
one-up Snuggles. That's my whole thing. He's like, can't be all about a rat. And I'll take 3 hits.
A rat and a
Narcan to
pig
bring
hanging
me
out.
back.
His name was Officer Gumdrop.
Snuggles and Officer Gumdrop. That's the new Fox series coming this fall.
Mm.
Featuring Grimace. Grimace's butt.
Wow, Cameron.
Sorry. Call back.
Welcome back.
I'm still stuck in that episode.
I don't know if we have that graphic.
I'll
ready
pull
to
it
go.
up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
save that one?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I'm
nice.
gonna. I've got a folder now, just essentials, just things to have for any show.
Benedict Cumberbund.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in there.
And Idris Elba. We can't
Mhm.
forget him.
Let me just get something to cover up the cheek or the crack.
Benedict Cumberbutt.
Keep talking, guys. I'm just.
Do not stop talking. I will have to take time to finish finding this image.
I'm just laughing because I'm curious where the Indian accent came from. What led you into that?
What are we into that?
Benedict
They're Native
Cumberbund?
Americans, dog.
What?
They're Native Americans.
No, they're Indians.
There
it is. With the Cajun
Tyler,
fillet.
I don't know if you've seen that yet.
You don't
Yeah, I've seen
actually
it.
have to
Grimace?
cover up that crack, do you?
No, but I like to. Here, look. You can see the. Cindy, can I show the crack?
Yeah, yeah.
There it is.
Shucks.
It's that juicy Grimace butt.
This was like result number 4 if you Google grimace porn.
I don't recommend Googling that, by
I
the
do.
way.
It's hilarious.
You don't have to. That's I'm going to either way.
Tyler hasn't looked away.
I'm not.
Don't you mean D's?
I don't really care. I'm just having fun.
So another topic to talk about is, and Tanner, you posted this on the group, so I'll let you talk about the Amtrak pizza delivery.
Oh yeah, I thought this was awesome. So some Amtrak train was like stuck and delayed for like 3 hours, and someone got quote hangry. They posted on Twitter.
Oh, it's a white woman.
Yes.
Dollars to donuts. It's a white woman.
Mhm. And so they ordered pizza, and the pizza delivery guy like climbed over rocks and hills and stuff to deliver this pizza. Here's the-
thanks. You're 30 minutes late. I'm still hangry. And she's going to eat one slice. Be like, oh, my God, I am so full.
$3 is a reasonable tip, right?
I don't know. My dad usually just pays for it.
But yeah, this man, that would suck if you did all that and got like jack for the tip.
Ew, who is
Or,
this little hairy
isn't that
man?
the delivery fee?
It would have been better if the pizza guy had just finished like traversing those hills and rocks and everything, and then the train started pulling away right as he was handing it to him.
Do
I
you
would-
take PayPal?
So before we go on slandering this good man's name, it was Mitch Katz, not a millennial female.
I love cat.
Twitter user Mitch Katz. He is a co-founder of CA Wealth Management.
Wow,
all
and he uses hangry, huh?
right. Yep.
I don't
So all
like Mitch
that-
cats. I like tabby cats.
These are my tabby cats.
It doesn't say what type of pizza it was, though. It doesn't look like just your ordinary Domino's. Looks like a homegrown mom and pop pizza shop. But it's a dedicated delivery guy.
I really think this delivery guy is awesome. Has anyone out here ever been delivery people?
No,
I
I've
never
been
have.
DiGiorno.
Anyway, so I mean, like I would not have done this. I would have been like, no, okay, not doing this.
Hee hi ho ha.
That's what I was thinking. Is it like, do you think that he told them he was going to tip them an exorbitant amount?
Yeah, I guess.
Better have.
When
His Twitter picture, like, he looks like the type of person who would do that.
Well,
he
he-
probably leaned back into the train and said, "Honey, what are poor people worth?"
He
Yeah,
founded
that's true,
a
he's on
wealth
the train.
management company, so yeah, I got to think he can provide a good tip
What-
for a service like
He
that.
What were
manages his
those-
own wealth and just keeps all the money.
Yeah. What were those directions to the pizza guy?
I was
How
just
do
about
you-
to say the
yeah.
special instructions part, on the delivery app.
All right, so
You
get off
probably filled that
on
in.
6th and Market, climb over the hills into Mordor, and and find and I don't know, just like you had to cross this little watery patch.
Yeah.
You know,
Tumble
like
down this ditch and then cover yourself with a cloth so the orcs do
also
not
it
see
looks
you.
like look, there's these fences here. So did he hop a fence to get there?
Well, yeah,
did
I
he
thi-
cut through someone's
I
backyard?
think it was like right outside of a residential area. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the delivery guy went above and beyond, so I hope he did get a good tip. But I am curious to see like what. Surely he had to call to make that. You can't just place an order like that online to a train track. How do you describe that? You got to make a phone call.
So train tracks are like these 2 iron bars, and you put like wood in between the bars, and you run Thomas and Friends along them.
And so it should be noted, for whatever reason, this train was going from New York to Washington, D.C.
That's
So,
that's one of the most frequently traveled rail lines in the U.S.
Really?
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Tyler with the train facts.
I'm not worth much, but
When it comes to trains,
when I have a fact, I know it.
why do you think that is?
Just 2 major metropolitan things on the East Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Boston and New York are a lot closer. They might actually have like a dedicated rail line just between those 2, but I think this is more like I don't know. They're different types of rail lines,
Mhm.
and I think that Boston and New York is just like they don't even count that almost, just because they're so close. And then New York to DC, I think that's one of the most traveled ones.
Gotcha. I wonder if the New Yorkers were complaining about the quality of the pizza, because it looked like it happened closer to Washington than New York. But they eventually got the Amtrak. What they did is they had to bring 2 trains to come and pick up all the passengers.
2 trains.
bow bracelets.
And eventually everyone got to where they needed to go. Obviously there was they didn't make it there on time. But yes, they sent 2 rescue trains to take customers on the rest of the journey. Though some on Twitter, said there were not enough seats for everyone. Poor train travelers had to stand.
This sounds like the Fire Festival all over again.
Pepsi Fire. Who's this?
This right here,
Yes.
this is Chris Geidner. He is, let me see, BuzzFeed legal editor.
Boo. Click
Wrong.
So let's see. I wonder, someone like that, I guess.
10
you could
reasons
say-
we had a pizza delivered to our train tracks.
10 reason the president's a pizza.
Well, you're the legal editor. What does that be like?
I
You-
think-
you make sure that things, you can run things without it being libel, or does he run legal stories, like
Is-
legal related stories?
Is he doing like serious stuff? Like legal? Yeah. Legal
Yeah.
related stuff?
Well, you kind of have to, because BuzzFeed last year was the one that like published the memo, or the what's his name, Christopher Steele, the memo about Trump's P
the
tapes.
dossier.
Mm.
Yeah,
Dossier.
so they were the ones who actually like put that out there. So presumably they had to like, have a legal team ready to go.
Yeah, so apparently, I'll read Chris Geidner's description. I think it'll tell us everything we need to know about him. Legal editor, BuzzFeed News, Supreme Court correspondent, lawyer, gay, law dork, Buckeye, recovery.
Is gay still a job in 2017?
I guess so. It's a full-time job.
Mm.
Yeah. Recovery, DMs are open, or email me. So, man, you just slide right into those
Slide
DMs.
DMs.
Down
alright.
in the DM.
And go down in the DM. It go down.
What is my personal like most hated BuzzFeed list is something like 39 reasons Christmas was better in the 90s. And all 39 of them should be you were 8.
Can we go around the room and give our favorite? Just come up with a BuzzFeed article that you'd want to see.
Okay. That I specifically want to see.
I want to see no, hold on. That doesn't work.
Tanner, you
13
almost-
reasons you should kill yourself if you weren't born in the 90s.
The sequel to
I
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, I was gonna say 13 reasons why you should kill yourself after watching 13 Reasons Why. I have 69 reasons you're doing sex wrong.
Okay. 10 different people and things that were saved by Narcan this week.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
13 aggregate sites that are better than BuzzFeed.
Ooh.
I called 'em
10
out.
different ways to grip yourself while masturbating to Sonic the Hedgehog.
10 reasons my ex-girlfriend Jackie is a total bitch.
10 reasons Tanner only has one ex-girlfriend.
You called her out. Jackie.
No, I'm not mine. I'm saying that's the writers. My
Okay.
ex-girlfriend. I've never had a girlfriend named Jackie.
I'll stand
deal.
by my last one.
I wish I
10
did.
reasons I'm laying in this bed staring at the ceiling, wondering what's going wrong with my life.
So I guess, and it should be said too, it says he ordered pizza pies to the train, not just one for himself. So I guess he ordered a lot and then
Show
dispersed
off.
them. Yeah. Well, he's a wealth manager. I think
He'd spit on some of them and hand them out.
to the poorest of them. Yeah. So moving on to our next subject, these nap pods in high schools. Tanner, I think you posted this one as well.
I did. So I don't know who read the article, but I guess to improve some sleep, some schools are introducing these nap pods, and they're these like almost sci-fi looking things right here. And I guess students over like lunch break or whatever, study hall, whatever they have nowadays, you just go in them, take a nap, or just chill out, and you come
tasty.
out feeling refreshed.
Wait, what did you just say, Cameron?
That girl
About-
looks tasty.
about
That
the high
high school
schooler?
girl?
Yeah, that's right.
In the nap pod.
Like to have me a bite of her.
All right.
There we go.
But yeah, it's not even like they don't even recommend it just for sleep. They also say if students are especially aggravated or they used another descriptor in here, but they can go, like the faculty actually recommends the students to go and use it. I mean, obviously, we didn't have anything like this in high school. We didn't have any sort of nap apparatus. Did you guys?
I slept on my desk. That was my
Yeah.
Yeah.
nap
Your
apparatus.
napparatus, if you will.
I mean, wouldn't it be better? Like, this is to me just kind of weird. I get a lot of the problems in the article. The article delves into like, this isn't going to solve the problem of health studies show that high school should start later. That teenagers should be like doing all these other things. I don't think this really solves that problem.
Well, yeah, and it says in the article that teenagers should be getting 9 to 10 hours of sleep.
All those hormones, like they're just bursting. And you
I
need to
hardly know
recharge.
her.
Those kids.
But you know what? This is a better solution than the ostrich pillow.
Then
Do
the
you guys
final solution.
No, what's the ostrich pillow?
this?
Whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, it's you just put it over your head and just the world goes away.
I have no doubt in my mind that these sleep pods are in some type of like art-centric high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like-
Well, they are $14,000.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh
just
my
about to bring up.
God.
$14,000
For what?
That's what my entire high school cost.
Oh yeah, you went to the great Rockingham High School, didn't you?
Nope, that existed in the 1950s. I went to Richmond Senior High School.
Oh.
Which was so much.
Who's
better.
that named after?
Jonathan R. Richmond.
Okay.
Senior.
What'd he do?
He founded Richmond Senior High School. That's just it's just
claim
a
to fame.
cyclical
All right.
thing. He wasn't a celebrity. He just had a money and was.
I
like-
had all ideas it was some Civil War era Confederate
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
Well, do you know about the school districts that were like really violent, and then they introduced transcendental meditation into the schools, like made it part of like the curriculum or whatever, and then like the violence went away completely.
That sounds like a Morgan Freeman movie.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah,
No.
there's like a bunch of different areas in the country that they try this out, and it's meditation. It just makes you not like violent.
No, I was questioning how does that sound like a Morgan Freeman movie?
That Morgan Freeman.
These kids are so violent, I'm going to sit down and have a sleep with them.
No, that movie exists, and I watched it about 3 weeks ago, and he doesn't respond that way at all.
Are you
He's
talking
in-
about...
Wanted?
Like
no. What's the
it's-
one...
children have
he's
to
in
get to the
this,
meditation.
Like, stereotypical New York, like inner city
Yeah,
school
yeah, yeah.
from the 90s, and
Yeah.
it just looks like Warriors is going on
Yeah.
in the halls. And he
That's...
comes in and like starts beating people and throwing people out of school and cursing at children, and it
And
works
by
out
the
in
end,
Yeah.
That's the
It's-
reference to the joke I made.
Yeah. Oh. I didn't
Lean on
know
me?
that. Just
Lean on me,
Is that
yes.
It is. There you go.
Interesting.
We just deconstructed a joke, Tyler. Come on,
I
up
did.
top.
Hey, good job. That felt good.
Oh, and he's not even a teacher. He's a principal.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. he
Yeah,
is.
really taking names. I was thinking of the Antonio Banderas one, where it's similar, you know.
Is it the one that like South Park kind of made fun of?
I need to teach these
kids.
need to reach
these kids.
I felt like
Exactly.
that was just making fun of every Lifetime movie. There's like 100 Lifetime movies with that same premise of someone goes to an inner city school and they have to connect with the kids. Did you guys ever see Freedom Writers? What was
No.
the act?
Never saw it, but
It's based on
That's
the...
a Hillary Swank one, isn't it? I
Don't.
she's in
You
it.
know what that actually? I don't know the lady's name. Let me see here. But
Swanky.
it's the whole like
Based on the true
White
story
woman,
of the
yeah.
kids writing
That
letters.
is Hillary Swank.
Yeah.
Tyler Deese is right.
was that 2007? Wow, But
2007,
it was
yeah.
Hillary Swank and Scott Glenn, the guy who plays Stick in Daredevil.
Ooh.
Yeah, but that was a movie they made us watch twice in school, 2 different classes. I guess they really liked that movie.
Or they just
Or-
had one video for the whole school.
Or that.
your teachers were hungover on 2 different days.
Yeah, maybe. How many times did you guys watch Osmosis Jones in school?
In school, none. At home, thousands.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
All the
really?
time at home.
I can count it. I can think of at least 4 separate occasions we watched Osmosis Jones in
That's
school.
cool.
That's the
school.
laziest biology class.
I'd prefer that biology class to the ones I had. It was more just some southern MILF just threw down a textbook. It was like, all right, read this. I'm going to quiz you on it every week.
Why are you
Hmm.
upset about a southern MILF?
That seems
Oh,
right up
no,
your
I mean,
wheelhouse.
it's great. It's just kind of distracting when you're trying to learn.
Well, in our,
Just trying to teach you biology.
I think
Cameron.
what was it, Earth Sciences class, we watched Super Volcano.
Oh, we watched. We watched. Was it Dante's Peak?
Yeah, we watched Dante's Peak in 8th grade. And,
Yeah.
And my 8th grade teacher, Mr. Sauceman, there's the part, where they're in,
Oh, I
like,
remember the Sauceman story.
they're in the, well, there's a bunch of Sauceman stories. But this one, that's the scene where they're in, like, the spring, the hot spring, the couple they're getting naked, they're like,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
shouldn't be
Yeah.
there. And then, like, the bubbles start to come up. And then Mr. Sauceman turns to all of us in the class, like, while the couple's making out, but then the bubbles start coming up, and he turns, and he's like, little volcanic action, no pun intended.
Oh, God.
That pyroclastic ash is more like pyroclastic ass.
That's when he gets removed.
there was in 6th grade there was a teacher where it's like they had been fired immediately and no one knew why, and I feel like the kids in his class were sworn to secrecy, but of course some of them talked, and I guess he showed straight up porn to his class. I don't know why. Not sure, because sex ed at that time was in 5th grade. This was in 6th grade when this happened.
It could have been one of those things where he's like trying to show something on a projector,
It's a refresher.
and he opens up a tab he shouldn't open up.
Yeah.
Happens.
Oh, I remember once in 6th grade where I typed in, I wanted to go to dictionary.com, and I spelled it DICKTIONARY, and I found dictionary.com.
I did that as well in elementary school.
Yeah.
It is funny that you brought up Dante's Peak. I was listening to Harmontown earlier this week, and Dan Harmon was talking about how there's apparently a supercut online because there's 2 characters in Dante's Peak. One of them's named Harry, the other one's named Terry. So there's a supercut of them be like, Harry, Terry, just back and forth to each other.
No way.
But at least Dante's Peak had like some production value in it. Super Volcano was like the Sci-Fi Channel version, where it was like Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
Jesus.
Well, also
Yeah.
it had Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton. Like it had some actors.
We
Linda
watched
Hamilton.
The Day After
Sarah
Tomorrow
Connor.
for like 6 years after it came out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Every
Yeah, we
science
did
We
watch
class.
watched
one.
that one. I do
That
remember
was-
that.
What a terrible, terrible, terrible movie.
This is
Yeah.
why global warming's bad, kids.
That's why nobody believes in it. Still, like, we forced that down everyone's throat. Played it on FX for 9 years straight at 5 o'clock. And everybody's like, you know what? I hope it does end that way.
Thanks
so
a
you'll
lot,
stop
Jake
showing this
Gyllenhaal.
movie.
God, and then he did 2012.
Who? Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, the director,
Oh.
Roland Emmerich, did
Jesus.
2012.
That's not the same movie?
That movie was so ridiculous.
I decided not to watch it because I,
I
had seen Day After Tomorrow so many
My
times.
family rented it and popped it in, and I just remember seeing this part where Nicolas Cage is in that, right?
No.
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 Mm.
Someone
No,
liked it. It's like a
John
Nicolas-
Cusack.
John
Okay.
Cusack, yeah.
He's like zipping through this like L.A. traffic or whatever.
Yes.
And
He
makes
as
it
like
out.
the whole city's crumbling.
And he makes it out
It's
unscathed.
like
Right,
that scene
yeah.
from The Dark Knight Rises where they're at the football game and he's like barely making it as the
Yeah.
whole thing's imploding.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that, but like just unreal. Like,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That at least seemed to have like sort of some real lucky pacing. But if you watch the scene I'm talking about, you would look back at The Dark Knight Rises like, yeah, okay, that was pretty realistic.
Well, in The Dark Knight Rises, at least some people get swallowed into the hole. Like some of the football
True.
players do
Nice.
get swallowed into the hole. But yeah, in this, and thousands of people are dying during this thing. But John Cusack is somehow such a skilled driver that he can manipulate his way out of the city.
I mean,
did you guys see the sequel to 2012?
2013.
Yes. Wonderful, Tanner. I love you.
There's
Yeah.
no 2013.
So Roland Emmerich's
just
best
for the sake of
movie
a
is
joke.
easily Independence Day, though, because Independence Day is an actual classic. No sarcasm. That movie is fantastic.
What about Independence Day Resurgence?
Didn't see it. Don't want to.
Independence Day is okay.
Yeah, Independence Day is solid. Independence Day Resurgence, I don't think anyone defends.
I feel like Independence Day is the one everyone goes to where it's like, what's your movie guilty pleasure? Oh, Independence Day because it's so stupid. No need to feel guilty. Everyone likes Independence Day. Like no one's like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's like all those movies from that time were semi-original, like Armageddon, semi-original. Even though, what was the movie?
Armageddon sucks.
What was the movie that was like just like Armageddon that came out around that same time?
Oh, it had Morgan
Impact?
Freeman as the
Sharmageddon?
president. Deep Impact.
Deep Impact. That's
Nice.
right.
Sharknado.
No, that
Say it
was
again, Cameron.
Sharknado.
One more time.
And with that, we are on to our second break.
Tanner's learned better, yeah, but it is time for our second break. We actually went over, so but that'll be all right. We'll just take a 10-minute break. We'll come back here at 10:10. So stick around, guys. We'll be back.
11:10.
11:10.
Is a temple.
Cameron, you're chocolate.
Well,
You're really misaligned.
I believe you meant your body was a wonderland.
Yeah,
No?
we didn't catch that on mic. Cameron, can you repeat for the viewer what you said off mic?
I said my body is a temple.
As evidenced by the Dr. Pepper and Cheetos breakfast you had yesterday.
That's right.
Your body is a temple post-ISIS visit, right? I think I better
Jesus.
quit.
You'd be leaving with a fat lip.
Hey, here's what
I'm
I'll,
already chubby.
here's what I'll say about ISIS. Boys will be
Let's hear
boys.
That's just locker room talk.
Yeah.
That's just locker room shenanigans, that old ISIS.
Oh, silly ISIS. Terrorism's for kids.
So Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, Tanner just wants to stomp all over our fun. We were finally having fun.
These are the... I've been having fun the whole show.
I'm just kidding.
Sydney, we need this.
Tyler's overwhelmed with fun.
Which
today.
Tyler?
It's
I've been.
Try running with these.
My cup runneth over with fun.
That's a Jay-Z lyric.
So, as Tanner said, it's time for us to get into nerd culture. And the first thing to kick us off, Tanner, I'll let you take it. You were pretty passionate about this.
Well, okay, so there's a new Sonic the Hedgehog game coming out this fall called Sonic Forces. And there's going to be 3 playable characters, and 2 of them are revealed to be the modern Sonic and the classic Sonic. They did this in the last big Sonic game, Sonic Generations. And the third character's been a mystery. And so yesterday they finally revealed who the third character is. It's a custom character. You get to make your own Sonic character who can like run around and do stuff. And
If you want to pull up my desktop, I'll show the trailer while we're talking.
I have it right here.
Oh, look at you.
I'm prepared.
Gotta go fast.
You guys are having fun downstairs. I'm doing my job.
I am having fun in my downstairs, but I didn't think that was picking up on the cameras.
All right. So so Sonic the Hedgehog, if you don't know, has a very big furry audience. A lot of fun fan art. And this is just them admitting that this is their audience. And I think it's genius. I
Yeah,
think it's
it's-
frickin' genius.
Now that gaming systems are where they are, there's no reason why we can't have every character, be customizable and everything.
Right, but to do this with a game and a franchise that's prominently associated with the furry culture, I'm just like, you know what? Screw it. This is where Sonic is.
Dan, are you a furry?
I am not, but I was a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan back in the day.
So I guess like what you're saying is that people can take this opportunity to make the character the way that they actually dress
Yeah, they
as a
could.
furry.
Well, they can make these furry fan fiction characters that they've been drawing and posting on like DeviantArt for years. In fact, if you type your name, the Hedgehog, there's always going to be a result, and they did that for you guys. I have a few.
Ooh,
Oh,
boy.
God.
So let's start with.
It's gonna be like Face App.
Let's start
Wait a
with.
minute. Did you
I'm
get 2
excited.
Tyler ones?
I did. I got
Because-
2
okay.
Tylers.
All right.
I got the first 2 Tylers when I type in Tyler the Hedgehog.
Cool.
First up, and I'll let this one be you, Tyler Wood, is Tyler the Hedgehog.
Yep.
Wow.
That's about right.
Pretty on point.
Can you read it?
Yeah. Origin, Tyler was walking in the streets and he saw a monkey spitting fire. Luke the Hedgehog walked up to him and said, "S, a monkey spitting fire, what should we do?" He responded with, "Let's eat this monkey before he becomes a menace to the world." That's it. That's why he's always sad. The end. He likes hentai. Zephyr mom and Henry's mom likes to have sex with Zephyr in his dreams. Zephyr was
That's all
asking
true.
for it.
Mm-hmm.
And his powers, he's not as fast as Sonic, but pretty fast in bed. Always sad face. He dislikes monkeys, dirt people, going outside, girls, stuff I don't know.
Who doesn't?
So then we have other Tyler the Hedgehog.
Is Zephyr a Sonic character?
No.
Oh, damn it.
This is D's.
Damn it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
dude. Of course.
Spot
Tanner,
on.
I
Yeah.
accept. That's. I
Uh,
mean, come on.
yeah.
It's a weird It's
That's-
kind of like androgynous.
That is exactly how feminine my hips are, though. So that's-
Tanner, I hate you.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
got like the really
this-
feminine
this
hips
is the
and
best
arms.
part of my day so far. That's just thanks for showing those back to back too. So
Oh,
I
you're
can
welcome.
see
It is
how
sad.
much
In fact,
better
here,
of
let me get a-
person
let me get a
I am in
comparison's
your
sake.
mind.
It
So
is
we
sad that you don't get the bio though. What would your
No.
hedgehog bio be? If you had to,
That is my bio. You don't need a bio
Tyler,
with a body
when
when
like
you look that
that.
good, just skate by on your looks.
Wait, hold on. I just want to, for comparison's sake, pretty accurate.
It's on point.
Yeah. So next up, Sydney. There actually wasn't any boy Sydneys, but there was
Big surprise.
this minx right here, Sydney the Hedgehog.
Is she holding an iron?
Let me
Of
enhance.
course, she's a woman.
That's
She's holding a bow, like a bow and arrow.
That is a way too small bow to be effective.
All right,
Who drew this? A 4-year-old?
probably.
You're
Yeah,
not-
probably so.
Bless you. You're not a fat slob, Sydney. Count your blessings.
Yeah. Well, guess
I also
who's
didn't need a monkey. That is pretty good.
Guess
I'm
who's
pretty
a cool-
fast in bed.
guess who's a cool guy? Cameron the Hedgehog.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. So let
you
me.
got a,
look at that
you got a
jacket.
duster like a school shooter.
So
Again, spot on.
here, let me get the name. Cameron, age 17, species hedgehog. Cameron is a headstrong hedgehog who is up for anything. Being Daddy's friend, he would agree. He's kind of a daredevil. He has a huge crush on Alex, but doesn't throw himself on her like Jack, though. He tries to get up close and personal with her when he has the chance.
What's up with this whole mythology of fake Sonic the Hedgehog
Wait,
characters?
Cameron,
Like,
how old were you in the year 2011?
Man, I must have been like
16?
16. Yeah.
Oh, so this is pretty accurate then. This was made in 2011.
so like all these are made like with colored pencils and stuff.
16 and
Who is stitching this mythology together with Alex and
The
Zafir
Sonic
and all
fandom
that?
is crazy, man. I'm glad I got out of
You-
it what I did.
You really need to delve a little bit deeper into the internet.
Oh,
Sydney.
yeah, really.
I thought
Oh,
it was
no.
blood in, blood
I'm
out.
just
This
saying
is-
that it's
This is certainly like some sort of like it's inner communities.
well, it makes
on
sense when
the
it's like
internet.
40-year-old people on Reddit and 4chan, but with these like I mean, this is
No,
art.
I was
Why are you
a
ragging
huge
on-
Sonic fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I would
Wait,
draw
hold
stuff.
Hold on. Did you never experience like the whole like cyber sex omegle thing? None of
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, of
Like,
course.
We're gonna.
But I wasn't
there.
creating like a far-reaching, interstitched mythology when I was 12 years old on the internet. I was on chat rooms
Sydney,
and
not
stuff.
everybody has friends growing up.
Yeah.
That is a
Some
good
of us-
point.
some
Yeah.
of us
All-
have
Not
real
all of us
basic
joined a
stuff.
frat with people we already knew.
If you're drawing Sonic the Hedgehog fan art, yeah, you probably aren't the most social person.
Well, you
In
know
all
who?
honesty, that's probably the first writing I ever did. Was
What's
like,
fan fiction?
Was like role playing, sort of like improvised role.
Oh, the
playing with
first-
people
the
across
first
the internet.
Writing I
That's
ever did was
when we
Legend
met.
of Zelda fan fiction. That was the first like thing I sat down and wrote.
I've never written fan fiction, but that was my pastime. Like after school and stuff, I would get home and just play like make believe. I had a sword collection. That's how
Oh,
cool I was.
Nice.
So I would get my swords and like act like I was just telling my girlfriend about this. I would make up situations where like I would be rescuing the girl who I had a crush on back then or something like that. But then I would also be like Spider-Man or whoever I was, but I didn't write anything out.
Yeah.
I do
Well,
also
all-
just real quick. I do want to go to Tanner the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh,
Yeah.
swanky.
I'm a cool guy.
Yeah,
My name's
tits.
Tanner. I'm 19. I'm a hedgehog. I'm single. I'm male. I have an Irish accent, and I like music, anime, scars, movies, bull terriers, and other animals.
And the least functional pair of goggles ever.
I dislike people who act immature and people who are annoying. Favorite thing in the world: yaoi and yuri. Now I know what yaoi is. I don't know what yuri is.
What is yaoi?
Gay people are fan art.
Okay.
Hmm.
Usually, I think it's like kind of like bears, like big gay person, smaller gay person.
Let's see.
you-
Yuri.
If you look up Tanner the Hedgehog, down a few, there's Minetta the Hedgehog, and that's I don't know if I'm really all that crazy about Alex the Hedgehog. I'm all about Minetta right here.
Minetta the hedgehog.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Where? Oh.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's
Give me
the right
one
reaction
sec.
to have
Give me one
to
sec.
Minetta.
Is this a Judy Hopps hedgehog here?
Oh,
She-
that's Judy
She's
Hopps. A
shapely.
shame.
She's shapely.
Yeah. Here is Minetta the hedgehog.
There you go.
Look at that. Look
So-
at that.
I mean, this does reemphasize my point that they are just the Sonic team is just catering to their audience with this reveal that you could just make your own custom characters.
Yeah,
They
vaginas.
know this is the people who make this fan art. That's their audience, and they're just going for it. I
Good for
don't-
Sonic.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that they've given up or that they just realize this is what Sonic is now, and they just have to deal with it, or both.
Yeah, I don't think you could have predicted whenever Sonic the Hedgehog was created the whole furry movement.
Yeah, but you know what? Who else played Sonic games? Because I played the Sonic games a lot as a kid.
The only one I ever really played was the one for Sega Genesis.
Okay, see, I think I am of the mindset that there are almost no good Sonic games. I think the original Sonic game is a full-on bad game. Sonic 2 and 3 are all right, and then all the 3D Sonics are awful.
Why are you a fan?
Because some part of me really likes it, and I did really like the 3D ones as a kid, and then playing them as an adult, I'm like, these are terrible.
Yeah,
Well,
I feel like there was one that I played on PC. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was one of the 3D ones, and it was insanely fun when I was a child.
Yeah, no,
I've
it
never
totally
tried to
is.
pick it back up though.
But
so.
once you try to pick it back up, it's absolutely awful. I remember getting Shadow the Hedgehog game for Christmas. Shadow the Hedgehog, I don't know if you guys know about him. He is like Sonic's emo counterpart.
Yeah.
And they made a spin-off game, and I'm going to pull up the cover in just a sec because the cover is something to behold, in my opinion.
Apparently, I'm looking this up. Apparently, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, the comic book Sonic series
Yeah.
is the longest-running comic based on a video game.
I used to subscribe to it. I got an issue every month from Archie Comics, and this is the Shadow the Hedgehog cover. Shadow uses guns. Like, the opening is him using a 9mm on a soldier and holding, like, a gun to Sonic's head.
And he kills the soldier?
No, in the
okay.
game they, like, faint.
Ah, yeah.
But they really wanted to be edgy with Shadow the Hedgehog. This was so edgy.
Yeah, put a 9 to a soldier's head.
Dude, this
That
was
oughta be
so edgy at the time.
Shadow and Bob Ross should have gotten together.
Right? Wait, what were you just saying, Sydney, about? Oh,
Comic book.
yeah, comic book. Yeah, I used to have that, and that also had a lot of animals with boobs.
Interesting. Do you remember the animated series?
Yeah, there were several. There was Sonic, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which was a crazy, trippy-ass one. That same year, there was Sonic Sat AM, which is the Sonic Saturday morning cartoon that was actually like really cool and really good. Then there was Sonic Underground, where Sonic teamed up with his siblings to form like an underground punk rock band. Then there was Sonic X, the anime version that I watched on Foxbox. I would wake up to watch it, mostly based off the 3D games. Now there's Sonic Boom, the 3D CGI animated series, and that, from what I understand, is pretty popular.
Good God, I had no clue there were so many.
I'm sad that I know all of that, like, off the top of my head.
We are too.
And so with this one, I guess, is this what they've done with all the recent games where you can do either like a from-behind view or a platform view?
No, that was a thing they did in Sonic Generations, which, again, people really like. That game is great. I've played Sonic Generations, freaking love that game. They made Sonic actually really good. And it seems like they're crowbarring, or that game was received so well that the whole time-traveling gimmick of, like, modern Sonic meeting classic Sonic is brought back in Sonic Forces for no frickin' reason because they know it worked.
And what's the difference? To me, it just looks like modern Sonic is a little bit darker blue.
He's taller.
He's also taller. He speaks, whereas old Sonic was also fatter. The Sonic fandom has a huge problem with like the way Sonic his legs. Sonic fans hate the evolution of Sonic's legs because they've gotten so long over the years.
Or they think that diminishes his running ability.
Yes, Sydney, they do.
Oh, there's a picture coming up that I am going to thoroughly enjoy seeing on the big screen.
You got to understand the Sonic, and again, I have unironic love for Sonic the Hedgehog and very ironic love. Like, some part of me just loves this.
Now Sonic is
boy.
6 foot for what?
This is the picture of what's someone's interpretation. Like, look at these stats they've got.
Tyler's ignoring me.
I have disproportionate legs, Cameron. My legs are not made for my body, okay?
Yeah, for what though?
So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. I think Sonic Forces is actually going to be really cool. I feel like Cameron is Cam visually is like old Sonic and Tyler's modern Sonic. Yeah. Just like short stubby legs and kind of pudgy.
I'm going to bring enough bullets for
everybody. You want to be modern.
I prefer modern Sonic design.
You want to be modern.
I like the longer legs.
Oh, yeah. They hate the evolution of me.
Long legs are all the rage in Paris this year.
They prefer
I was the perfect original with the short stubby legs.
He was chubbier. He was cuter.
Yep.
Yeah, Cameron just pretty much said that Cameron's a fat, short slob who can't speak.
I'm a tall fat slob.
At least you got the tall thing going for you.
See, Tyler, you were bad. That's why you're not this. That's why you're this.
Oh, man.
Don't worry, I'll get a comparison up so we can see Tyler versus his other self.
Dude,
There we go.
What is that?
It's so. It is absolutely perfect. Look at the face.
But
Do
wait
tomorrow,
a second.
do tomorrow.
Okay, well, you could have picked this one for Dees. Do you see this, Tyler?
Hold on, I'm
I'm
pulling up
just liking
Good God.
that you all view me as at least handsome.
I don't know whose face that is right there, covering
It
up
could
the
be
goods.
yours.
Oh, look, Sonic is wearing a Speedo. He's got a nice little banana
Oh yeah, no,
hammock.
I saw that image when I was looking this up. I saw a lot of images.
I think this is maybe a better representation of Tyler.
Aw.
When you guys hear the
That's
name
responding.
Tyler, what images does that conjure?
You know,
to
I
me,
guess
Tyler's always been
Uncooked
more
can
of
of spaghetti.
kind
and
of a
meatballs,
douche.
spaghettios and meatballs.
yeah, it's always
Yeah.
been more of a fratty
Yeah.
sounding name.
Tyler's
Yeah,
a douchey name.
yeah.
That's,
And we've got me and you. I don't know
Yeah.
how that happened.
well,
We're lowering the equity.
we are.
Me
We're
more so
ruining
than
the
you.
name
I'll give you
Tyler.
that. But
Trying to think.
That's hurtful. You think I'm mean? You think I'm douchey?
no, I think you're handsome.
Oh.
Going
Oh,
off
you thought
my
handsome.
personal
Yeah, they
experience.
go hand in hand.
With my personal experience, all the Tylers I've ever known have been somewhat hoodlums or somewhat like people on the fringe.
Oh yeah,
Sort of.
I grew up in the hood.
you're the
Hood of
love part of
Rockingham.
It's
hoodlum.
the first time that sentiment has been expressed that way. Oh yes, I grew up in the hood.
Oh yes, I ran
I'm
around
from
with
the-
miscreants.
I remember my days in the hood.
I remember them quite fondly.
My father had a boat. A boat detailing business in the hood. I would travel and visit it.
Tanner, is there any sort of like meaning to the color of the hedgehogs, or is it just random?
I think it's just random.
Okay.
Mine's yellow like
because
piss.
Tails is red.
Tails is okay. Tails is a fox.
Oh.
So he's orange. Knuckles is an echidna who's red.
Knuckles is who I was
Echidnas, by
thinking.
the way, have 4 penises. I'm sure everyone knows. So
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
And
that
if you
this
don't
is
know,
important.
now you know.
yeah, they have 4. They
Echidna?
have 4 penises. An
For
echidna.
what? Do they?
Well,
6 foot for what?
It's not like. All right. Time out here. If it's the thing I'm thinking of, they don't have 4 penises, like, blah, 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 like going all in different directions.
No, they have 4 penis
I don't
heads.
They have
have
4
one
penis
that
heads
does
off of one
that.
stalk.
Yes.
That's the correct. It's just
What?
the Animal
Yeah.
Man stalk. It
No,
is a stalk. Right?
He's 100% correct.
Okay.
Tyler is so right. That's what it is.
So I was thinking it was so they could just be more efficient,
No,
lay 4 female echidnas at once. What is the benefit of having 4 penis
It
heads?
shoots everywhere. It's more.
Yeah, so it's just to
It's probably
disperse it better.
Why do we have 10 fingers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
don't
too.
think that's
Evolutionarily,
that is a really good question.
for some reason, like it may not have been necessarily that there were 4 penis heads, but something about the first one that had 4 penis heads when that
evolutionary mutation
the
happened.
mutation happened, that
when
it
the
keeps getting
bottleneck event
passed
occurred,
on.
and
Yeah.
the 4 penis echidnas were running around,
Mm-hmm.
and the 3 penis echidnas were just like laid up at home, like
Well, think
you guys
about-
are always trying so hard with your
Well, think about like
penis."
every mutation is based on sex essentially.
true,
The reason we
Is
have
that true, Charles?
the reason humans have intelligence is because the humans who were intelligent enough to keep their whole like tribe safe were mated more, and so that was an evolutionary trait that was passed down. So we can presume that the 4 penises had some sort of evolutionary advantage over.
for sure.
Apparently, now the #1 evolutionary advantage based on the largest number of families is who has the most Jeff Gordon T-shirts and Ford F-150s.
Yep. Those are the ones
Yeah.
who tend to reproduce more than anything. But I got to share this. This is an academic paper about echidna penises titled "One Shaft, 4 Heads."
The echidna's penis.
One shaft for what?
Wow, Tyler quoting your own jokes.
So yeah, Sonic had a big cast of characters. By the way, I just had this image pulled
Oh,
up. There were-
Jesus.
Wow, yeah, no, go back.
Just don't, please, Tanner, I'm being 100% serious. Please do not pull up my desktop right now, but I got to show you guys this echidna.
I'll put something over it.
Oh,
I'll
that's
put.
the-
Whoa.
That's the thing I've seen. Yeah.
Hold on, no,
Yeah?
Sydney, keep that up there. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
Don't
God,
scroll.
okay.
Don't scroll.
We're
Be
good.
careful.
That's just out there.
That
Cajun filet.
I'd suck that.
That looks exactly nothing like I
If
thought
you
it
do
was
move your
gonna
mouse,
look.
though, it will appear.
It looks like an upside down execute. No one knows.
Yeah, for
Is it
Pokemon.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. Yeah, no one agrees though.
I don't really agree with
I'm
it.
writing down that thing I said about the.
I think
the
you're.
kids.
I think you mean Executor, by the way, because
Oh,
that's the
okay,
one that would
possibly.
full on had legs.
It
Yeah,
looks
with
like
no, I'm talking about the
base of an
tree.
Yeah, that's the
expensive
one.
Lamp. Like
Yeah.
you walk in, you're like, how's that standing up?
That-
The legs aren't even wide.
So the question is, do you think Knuckles the Echidna from Sonic the Hedgehog has 4 penises?
Well, he must.
Why do you think he's called Knuckles?
Oh yeah, he's the guardian of the Master Emerald, and that's not the only thing he's guarding. You know what I'm saying?
Geez, so you're so
Excuse
was
me?
all this established during the comic book, or do you just know this from the video game?
So there's a lot of what happened with Sonic the Hedgehog in terms of like how this was developed. So in Japan, it was always established that Sonic was on the real world and he had a human girlfriend, but they didn't
Like
have
the show, The Real World.
No, the video game, the first video game had this. That was a thing. And then in America, when they were bringing it to the West, they did not have those files to translate, so they made up their own story that he was on an alien planet with a bunch of other like anthropomorphic animals.
and
and
that's where
then-
Tails and Knuckles came
Yeah,
from.
and then they made the cartoons in America that further established that. And then in Japan, they made Sonic Adventure, which further established their whole he's on the human world thing. So now you have these two Sonic things that don't really mix. They can't really take out the human parts of Sonic Adventure. So now we've got regular Sonic running around in a human world. And that was also where you had this gets complicated. If we could,
son, yes, about 30 minutes ago.
if I get a segment, can we just have me like summing
No,
up
this
Sonic
was your
spotlights?
audition.
Well,
You're
you do
done.
have your origin stories, so
That's
Sonic could
true.
definitely fit in there.
Yeah.
All
It
right,
should be noted that Knuckles has 4 large protruding knuckles. Maybe that's a shout out.
He
to the
actually
penis.
does. He actually does. He has
Mhm.
4 on his fist. He has these weird little fist bumps. He also has these weird shoes that have like do you see
They
what
look
I'm
like
talking about?
buttons on
Those
them.
look like Etnies.
They look like a remote controller on top of a shoe.
Like I don't know
That looks
what
like Lego.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
they're called.
That's my
Everyone
boy.
jokes call him like. But I love how he's the
say that?
he's the tough
We said it at
guy,
the same time.
and he wears those stupid clown shoes.
All right. Well, it's already time for our final break. So when we get back, I guess Tanner just taught us a lot about some interesting animal facts. But when we get back, Tyler, excuse me, Deese,
I've
is
got
gonna,
so many more.
Deese is going to tell us all about the ocean sunfish. So we'll be back here in about 10 minutes, guys. Stick around. Back from our third and final break. It is May 17th. This is Prime Nation. So, Mr. Deese, you're joining us for the first time. You're going to be telling us about some animal facts.
Oh yeah, I am.
I'll let you dive right into that. No pun intended.
So
Yeah, we're having fun.
Sydney make that wonderful joke because I'm going to be talking about the ocean sunfish today, guys.
What is
As
this?
opposed to the land sunfish.
That's
Yeah, I'd never
I
heard.
didn't make up the names for these guys.
I had
That is
never
a-
heard of an ocean sunfish.
Right? It's
That is
beautiful,
a fugly
beautiful,
little creature.
brisk creature.
Oh, if you think it's ugly in that picture,
It's-
I can't even
yeah,
tell
get
where its
a-
face
get a
is.
good- there we go. That's,
Ooh.
that's nice.
Okay,
so,
yeah, I was about to say make sure we get one for perspective because the Wikipedia picture makes it look like it's size
Yeah.
of a flounder or something
Right,
like that,
right.
another flat fish.
That's no, and these guys are actually they're the heaviest bony fish in the ocean,
As opposed to like a cartilage
as
fish?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So like that would include sharks and rays, which are a lot larger,
Mhm.
and they like typically grow to much larger size than these. But these guys are recorded up to 5,000, like 330 pounds. I think is the figure that I saw.
Jeez.
Are they carnivorous?
Yes.
How do you define fish as carnivorous?
That's
I don't know really
that's
what
a,
my
it's
question
Pescatarians.
is.
interesting. They're it's not what is it? I can't
Kelp?
Herbivores. They eat
herbivores eat both.
jellyfish.
Oh.
That-
is
that-
what it is.
I think that's fine.
So
I don't think
that's-
that's...
more
I-
that falls
that's
into a
technically
gray area. I'm
carnivorous.
not.
Well, you
sure.
call it like a pescatarian because
right,
I guess
but it's not
jellyfish are
even
technically
pescatarian.
fish.
It's like much lower down on the evolutionary
Yeah,
chain. It's
yeah.
more. That's what I think it was. It's
Let me
not.
look up and see if they even
And
have
it
a
doesn't
term for
hurt
that.
'em to
Look
eat
for,
the
look
jellyfish.
for what they call
They're an invertebrate.
like things that eat invertebrates is
Okay.
the one that I was going to go.
By the way, Dees, could you please just do like your could you please match the picture I have on screen?
I
with
want
your
to know
mouth?
how those things are able to eat jellyfish.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure we got that for the thumbnail. All right.
Their mouths never close either. They swim around like that the whole time that they're alive.
They look like a resident of my hometown.
Yeah, I was about to say we all
Very
know someone from our
slack-jawed,
someone from our high school who constantly with their mouth
I'm
open.
just saying, where's the birth certificate?
I just don't know why they have to come over and take all the jobs.
I'm just saying, it's fine if you ain't white. Just do it away from me.
I don't mind the queers so much. I just don't want them near me. Touch me.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong. Like, ain't nothing wrong with queers. Just if you touch me, I'll kill you.
Can we introduce racist sunfish as a recurring character on the show?
Sunfish.
anytime we wanna talk about stereotypical racist stuff, we'll just take on that sunfish character.
I'll bring that picture back.
Just give him a chance.
Just peg a red hat on him.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
MAGA.
all the liberal media.
All these damn
Prop-
Asians in
Well,
the ocean.
What would a Japanese sunfish sound like?
yeah, give us that.
Okay, here we go. Oh, today I ate 2 jellyfish. And I ate a Portuguese manowar.
Bojangles?
It was so spicy. Like a wasabi.
Okay, now
Oh,
it's just
God.
Scooby-Doo.
Like wasabi, Shaggy. Ruh-roh, Raggy, I got some wasabi.
The manowars are the giant ones, right?
Yeah, and they're not actually jellyfish
Hmm.
while we're doing this. They're
Oh.
siphonophores, which are a like coalescing of a bunch of single-celled organisms.
You need to quit
working
acting
together.
so uppity.
So a manowar.
Bro, you didn't like that? That
Is it
felt
just-
good.
is it just
felt
one
good to use
organism?
that tone. That's- yes, they're
A collection of.
but they're like a collection of protist-style single-celled organisms that have specific like modal functions
Mm.
that make the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I
work
know
together.
exactly what every word you just said
Yeah.
means.
Well, is that not
Mm.
what a human is?
As yes,
Ooh.
yes, but not quite the same. They're pretty neat little fellas.
And it should be
Right.
noted too that Tyler isn't just like talking out of his ass or looking this up a day before. You actually have a degree in marine biology.
Oh no, I'm like I don't know 2 semesters short
Oh,
on a degree
okay.
in marine
Well, you
biology.
did all the good
Most
work
of a
then.
Yeah.
degree.
I got most of it. I skipped all the like what are those the classes you're supposed
core
to take?
electives.
Core classes.
Okay.
Skipped all those. Did the other classes, and I was like, you know what? I don't really think I want to do that.
Oh yeah.
So
You'd rather cook
Why
the
are you
fish.
doing this then?
because
You
you
still
have
find
to
it-
do something to feel alive every day.
Okay. So you still find it interesting. You still want to do it for a career.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well, I mean, if he can tell you exactly what a manowar is without looking it up, you got the
He's
expertise.
a soldier.
It's yeah, they're pretty okay. Oh, don't pee on your man-o-war stings. By the way,
Yeah.
That's a myth.
I
Why
read
that's
that.
a myth. That's a myth. Jellyfish stings,
You
a-okay.
do pee on them.
But
Yeah.
the siphonophores, it's a completely different toxin. It's not going to help. You
What's
stop
another
peeing on your
siphonophore?
life.
That makes it
I can
worse.
look it up, but I just want to see
Most
if you
of them,
know.
well, that's a pretty overarching term. A lot of them float around like these little mucus tubes,
Okay,
in the,
okay.
like out in the open ocean, and scoop plankton and things like that. But they're like almost clear. That's but they have the same stinging mechanisms.
Gotcha.
So,
Hmm.
but yeah, they're pretty cool. But the
But back to
sunfish,
sunfish, yeah.
The sunfish, today's topic. Another thing that they hold the record for is they produce the highest number of eggs of any like ocean species.
I think
of
this one's
any
producing some eggs right now.
ones. Yeah.
But what if they have an
That's his
IUD?
O face. Oh.
They produce 300 million eggs at one time.
What if they have an IUD?
Then they need to contact their doctor and see if whatever pee medication is right for them.
But you said that out of those 300 million, only one survives?
Yeah, their numbers haven't like been growing over the past thousands of years. They're kind of hovering at a stable
Good.
like number. But what that means is that they're producing 300 million eggs with each breeding cycle, which could occur multiple times throughout their long lifespan. And they're only generating one sunfish for every sunfish that was alive.
What about
so
a daughter fish?
technically two per...
I was hoping you wouldn't dwell on that. It doesn't deserve that attention.
But yeah, so they're basically just out there. They generate like slicks of genetic material, which is the same way that Cameron reproduces.
Oh,
Oh,
Got
That's
him!
the way I did it, but all right,
Oh,
all right,
that's all
all right, all right. It's all
That's-
good.
Could you imagine just swimming through some of that? What-
That's
Cameron's
oh,
material?
I can't imagine.
What do
A
you think
boy
it'd
can
feel like?
dream.
It's just the Cameron's material swims by. It's like, have you seen my new video? Have you seen my new video? Have you seen my new video?
Put out a new video. it's,
I used
Which
to
is
liquid
funny.
dump in my bathtub and just sit in it.
that's. But now you do it on film and
No,
disseminate it.
my parents walked in on me one time and they said, "What in the hell?" And they said, "You have to stop doing this." So I stopped.
It's unhealthy. You have open wounds, Cameron.
If I oh god, if I could take us on a short tangent,
Tanner's over there.
Joey Diaz has a similar story where he used to poop in the shower and then he would pick it up and toss it into the toilet. And his wife caught him doing that one time, and she was like, "No, you got to stop doing that."
That's a good wife.
I was
Yeah.
in the bath and I'd shove it down the drain.
He-
Like I'd
that's
open it
like-
up a little.
That's
and
what
then-
he would say
force-
he would do, but then whenever it was too dense to go down, he'd have to pick it up and toss it in the toilet.
You guys are disgusting.
That's Joey
Tanner,
Diaz.
you
He's
pooped on your carpet one
For real?
time.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
it was
great
an
point.
accident.
An accident?
Yes.
All this
You
poop
weren't
talk.
like nothing was wrong with you. Like you weren't sick.
Shut up.
You took your pants off. It's like I'm gonna make it to the toilet, and you didn't.
well, you were drunk, right? Were you at
No,
least
I
drunk?
had like
Ah.
2 beers.
How old were
God.
you?
22.
How old were you, Cameron?
I was like 11.
All
Not
right, that's
even.
not-
I was
okay,
like,
all right,
I was
I don't
actually
know.
like 8.
But still, you shouldn't be pooping.
You didn't
in
prove
your
my
own
point by that
bath
much.
water.
No, it
11.
was definitely like either 7 or 8.
Could a sunfish survive in my bathtub?
Could have been 9. I was either
As
7,
long
8,
as
or
you
9.
didn't poop in it.
No. Say
Yeah.
it's completely clean bathtub.
Clean
How
bathtub.
long before I got to shift her? Before she's too big and I
You
gotta
just have
move
to
her.
flip them over.
Yeah, I was about to
You
say.
just have to let them sun
'Cause
themselves.
they get pretty big. That looks like a
They're-
scrotum.
Yeah, no, they're massive. That's what I was, they're like 5,000 pounds, 14 feet
Mhm.
long, which
What?
is
How
like-
big?
Yeah, that's they're
how-
gigantic.
God.
How big do they come out?
They're very
6
tiny.
inches.
That's like extremely tiny, and they're actually born in these little egg cases that are shaped like the Star of David.
What?
And they
Oh, they're
float
Jewish.
around. Yeah,
Circumcised.
Huh.
Okay.
yeah. That's why their tail looks like that.
So I guess all fish when they're babies are called fries.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I was about to say if it was a fry, a
Yeah.
sunfish fry,
and
that
if
could
it
survive.
is a vertebrate, it's called a tot.
A frite.
What?
A
Oh.
frite. The French.
That's,
French fry.
these things, they're pretty kind of gross overall
Mm-hmm. Would you eat one?
as well. I would definitely try to eat one.
Are they edible?
That's-
Are they?
Yeah, seals actually swim up to them and will like just bite chunks out
Oh,
of them.
Jesus.
Do they care?
That's I mean it probably kills them
Do
eventually.
they turn around like,
But
oh?
as far as like, do they have some sort of animosity that builds up towards seal kind because of one interaction with a seal? No, they're better than that.
Well, I mean, like, are
So-
they like? Can they feel it, or are they that
That's-
terrible?
oh, I don't know.
of an
I haven't
animal.
really asked. any of
Whoa.
them,
Hey,
but,
Tanner, if you pull up
don't
my
start.
screen.
come on, you know that was fun.
No, it wasn't.
I liked it.
I'm not having fun.
So this
Oh.
is the Star of David thing you were
See?
referring to. And
That's
apparently
a few more than 6.
and this that's a 9, but it says this is still a fry which possesses spines that'll later disappear.
Yeah.
So are those like a defensive thing until it gets big enough?
I
Do you
would
know?
imagine so.
Okay, yeah.
But that's what's going on there. And they actually, as they develop, they lose their entire rib cage and they lose a couple of other things. So by the time they're grown, they're just like a skull, a spine, and then I actually think there's a picture of the bones up on the screen.
How do
right
you
now.
lose? Like, what happens to the rib cage?
It just the material that would have become bone just works itself back into the
Organs.
body system. So all the
okay.
things that comprise bone, like it's calcium phosphate, I'm pretty sure is
So
what
that's
bone
before
is.
they're even out of the egg casing that it becomes something other than the rib cage.
No, they actually
they're born with a rib
evolved
cage?
from animals who have rib cages,
Right.
and they have rib cages in their fry form.
Yes.
And as they grow,
Okay.
instead of developing into ribs that are as large as the fish, the ribs just
So the fry is
go
not
away.
the egg form, or not egg. I shouldn't say the like zygote form. Is that right?
what do you mean?
Or is fry like baby fish? It's out of
Well,
all egg casings and
okay,
whatever.
the way that a lot of especially like ocean species work, is you're going to generate a lot of babies that have very rudimentary defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
And they're going to develop instead of developing within the mother, since they don't do live births, since like for the most part, since the majority of fish don't do it like that, you're going to produce a lot of eggs that still have a lot of growing to do, that so that you don't have to produce all of the energy.
So the eggs
to
come
feed thousands and thousands.
And real quick, Tanner, I have the skeleton pulled up on my screen if you want to show that.
The eggs come out fully fertilized?
I'm actually not sure about that one. I thought that these guys were broadcast spawners, and that's why they would produce this many
No, that
eggs.
means the eggs come out and then the sperm comes out
right,
from the dad.
So that's the way that like salmon work. Things like
yep.
that. A lot of different fish,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure that they work like broadcast spawners. Because they're open ocean, and they
salmon are one and done though, right? They reproduce once and they're dead.
for the most part.
Okay.
That's a lot of like the species that we think about operate like that. I'm
Because
not
that's
sure
what the
if it's
migration is
all
about,
the way
right?
Across the board, though.
The salmon migrate to lay the eggs.
Right.
The only way
Right.
I know anything about that is there's a Futurama episode where there's salmon.
Yeah.
In like a what if
Yeah.
scenario. That's
Yeah.
the reason I know most of that.
Yeah, you got to think that these things couldn't actually procreate in the human way with this shape.
Yeah. No.
They have to date. It's terrible.
A lot of it's no Tinder for these guys.
He's like, what? How pay $40 for a dinner? I'm a fish.
What do you think fish say to each other when like they're going after one fish and that doesn't work out, and then they get all bummed out about it?
There's plenty of fish in the sea.
I don't.
Is that what you were going
I
for?
feel like there's plenty of humans on turf.
They're probably like, Finn. They leave.
Like a French film.
Yes.
All right, so we found out that they lay more eggs than anyone else, that they're the heaviest bony fish.
Yeah.
Do you think their version of oral is like with the gills?
Oh,
Tanner, no, that's
Jesus.
no.
They stick their tails in each other's gills.
What's
I'm
the
gonna
other
spawn.
type? If
I'm
a
gonna
fish,
spawn.
I guess if a fish doesn't have gills, it's just like a dolphin, right? It has to come up to the air.
That's not a fish. That's a mammal.
Yeah, true, but
Yeah.
because there are
but,
certain fish without gills, right? No.
There are fish without gills, like really, really low down on the evolutionary chain, but what they have are gill slits or like some evolution of a pharyngeal.
Something
slit.
that will filter
So,
water to
right.
get oxygen out.
They have a method of passing water over either gills or gill-like apparatus.
This is a closing
So-
question, nothing to do with that fish.
Mhm.
How do dolphins sleep?
One side of their brain at a time.
How do they, they are mammals that live under the water that have to breathe air. How
Yeah.
do they sleep?
They sleep one side of their brain at a time.
What?
Okay, so they're
That's-
always constantly moving?
That's That's,
Oh.
they
Whoa.
don't like sleep.
They are way smarter than us. Then.
They have the
Jesus.
ability to rest parts of their brain and
that's
keep
incredible.
other parts of their brain active.
Okay.
Because
So
with
it's
sea-
extremely impressive.
Sea turtles sleep above the water.
That's I would assume.
Okay.
That's I
Can you
think
ask some of
turtles
them
are
for me?
dumb. That's
They're dumb.
that's, yeah.
Why?
That's
Because they develop fins
Do you
instead
know
of
how
feet.
many people talk about sea turtles in this town? And if you go to UNCW and you go through the marine biology program, everybody wants to talk about turtles, and I get it. Like turtles are dying, whatever.
They're
But-
not technically fish. They're not
But
fish in the
exactly.
slightest. They're
They're
reptiles.
not even.
They're reptilians.
They're reptiles.
Reptiles.
Right, right. So yeah, but I know I'm not particularly interested in turtles.
I'm just curious as to
That's
how
fine.
they.
That's
I'm just
fine.
curious
I
as to
didn't
how they
expect
don't
you
die.
to know that off the bat.
Titles.
Yeah. I'm
That's-
just curious as to how they don't die, like sleeping.
No, I would imagine, and turtles can dive for an extremely long period of time. I know as well. They have the ability to dive for extended periods of time, just like a dolphin or a whale would.
Okay.
So,
Whalewood. That's my uncle's
Whalewood.
name.
and it's sharks that have to keep moving while they sleep, right?
that's not necessarily true. That's some sharks are too large for their body to like rest on the bottom of the ocean.
What a fat
So
ass.
they have to kind of generate movement. But sharks lay on the bottom of the ocean.
Okay.
Sharks can sleep on the bottom of the
Kind of like a
ocean.
horse.
Interesting.
Like I
Yeah.
never thought a horse could lay down to sleep, but they actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After drinking mint juleps, tied it all back.
Nice. So with that, guys, that's the end of our show. It has been May 17th, Prime Nation Live. I'm Sydney Roberts. You can find me at SydneyRoberts18 on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Tyler Wood. You can find me on Twitter at Tyler W. Wood and on Instagram at Styler Wood. And you can find Prime Nation across all social media platforms Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Libsyn, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, eBay,
Snapchat?
Gmail.
We don't have a Snapchat. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, though.
Yeah.
I barely put anything on the Twitter as is, but follow it.
Well, I was about to say it'd be more useful than Instagram.
I retweeted it to all of my 3 followers.
And we're on all those social media platforms at Prime Nation Live. We're giving away a comic book right now. I don't know if anybody's interested in that. All you have to do to enter is retweet the either the post on Twitter or share the post on Facebook, and you're entered to win. There are only about 2 people entered, so you have pretty good odds. And we're extending that since we're not going to be here Thursday or Friday. We're extending that to next Friday.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and say we're taking Thursday and Friday this week off. It's the Cape Fear Comedy Festival, so anyone listening locally, go downtown, pretty much any venue downtown, you'll be able to see.
Hell's Kitchen, Real Cafe, the old Level 5 theater. What the hell is that called?
It's like the
City
rooftop
Stage.
at City Stage now.
Yeah.
is
The
what they call
rooftop,
it.
the rooftop at Northfront Theater.
That,
Hmm.
yeah.
Dead Crow, Bombers. There's an open mic at Sour Barn tonight, and there's probably one I'm forgetting. Oh, Bougie Nights is one.
So there's over 60 comedians coming into the Port City, not to mention all the ones that we have already living here. And like I said, if you go pretty much anywhere downtown, you'll be able to find where something is going on. So all these guys are going to be busy with the comedy festival, so we're taking those days off. And we're also going to be revamping the studio here, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but on Monday we might be coming back with a new, fresher look. So either way, we'll be back on Monday at 10 a.m., but I'll send it back to Cameron.
I am Cameron Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at CamBoySmith.
CamboiSmif.
You done?
I'm Tyler Dees. You can find me on Twitter at Jokes for Food, and I'm on Facebook. But otherwise, I'm unimportant.
That's Facebook with an F.
I'm Tanner Methvin. You can find me on Twitter at Tanner Methvin and the Sinister Waffles YouTube channel.
Perfect. That's been our show, guys. Join us back on Monday live at 10 a.m. Take it easy till then. Hope you all have a good weekend.